All right, if you watched my last two videos on how to grip a pistol and how to grip a rifle, you'll notice I'm in the same clothes. Why? Because I'm just knocking all these videos out at once. Today, let's go over red dots on pistols. Okay. I was not a fan of red dots on pistols for a very long time. I don't quite know why. Maybe it was because I got taught to use iron sights, and that's how I started shooting. And I always thought that red dots were more of a, hey, look at me, I'm cool type of deal than they were practical, right? I was wrong, like way fucking wrong, okay? So let's talk about this. Sights on guns, right? So what do you have? You have basically square sights, right? And a lot of guns, especially like these, have tritium and they have 3 circles, okay? So, and I know a lot of people have covered this. I'm just making this quick, okay? So when you bring the gun up for presentation, what do you have to do? Well, first, let's see. Oh, there we are. You have to get all the square things lined up. And then what? Oh, fuck. And then you got to get all the round things lined up. And then you got to make sure there's fucking daylight between them. Oh, fuck. Then I got to look at my damn target. Oh, wait. Hold on. I got to focus on my front sight. There's a lot of shit to do. Now, if you're really good and you've done it a lot, you practice all the time, you're a good shooter, it's way easier, right? You can just pick it up and it's all lined up and you can bam, right? But for the new shooter out there that's just got this and maybe they've never had a gun before, maybe they've never, been taught a class and all they know is you line up everything, that's hard to do, man. And you're fucking out there, and that's why everybody closes one eye. Because when you're trying to target focus, and then you're trying to front sight focus, then you're trying to all sight focus, then you're trying to target focus again, it gets complicated. I see my kids doing it. And I have to tell my kids, like, don't do that. If you have iron sights, I don't worry about the dots in the iron sights at all. I like blacked out, like this. So this is all blacked out, and this has got one dot up front. That's way better of a sighting system, in my opinion. I'm not a huge fan of all the dots, but if you're going to do that, right, you front sight focus. You focus on the front sight, the target is blurry. Now, I'll tell you 2 things. One, I've never shot anybody with a pistol. Never. Okay? Didn't get issued one in combat. Never shot anybody as a cop, so take it for what it's worth. I do know this, that most of the time when you talk to cops who have been in shootings and it was a very dynamic thing they were doing, they were point shooting, okay? They were bringing it out, pointing at the target, and pulling the trigger. Not to say they were bad shots, not to say that they weren't taught correctly, just saying that that's what happened because their mind took over and said, holy fuck, that's a bad guy. This is the thing to stop bad guy, point, shoot, bang, 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 okay? That's hard to line up all that stuff and do the right thing when you're under stress and time is life and that bad guy has the gun pointed at you and he might be shooting at you, okay? So let's fast forward a little bit. I had a Glock 19. I bought a new upper for it and I had a slide and I put a Vortex, I want to say Venom, put a Vortex Venom on it. And I was like, oh man, I got a red dot. I'm telling you right now, I am like a fucking sniper with my pistol. And then I did some research. Okay, I got a 0 to 25 and blah, blah, blah. And then I went out one day when we were doing a qualification from the police department. I was an instructor, so there was a little bit of lull time gaps. And me and my partner were like, hey, let's break out this red dot and let's zero it and let's fucking start being snipers, right? So there we were, 25 yards. Shooting. Couldn't get it zeroed. Couldn't zero it for shit. I was pissed. I thought I was going to be a sniper with a pistol. I was not. And then the battery would die in like a day. So Anyway, I contacted Vortex. They sent me a brand new one out. New one was also a piece of shit. So I was like, you know what? These fucking red dots are stupid. Anybody that uses them are fucking stupid. They're just like a cool guy tool, and I don't believe the hype. And I'm damn sure not going to pay $500 for one because I don't believe the hype, right? So time went by a little bit more, and I finally bought this gun, and I bought a sight to put on it, or a dot to put on it. And I went out and I shot this, and I had done a little bit more research by that time, and I realized that I don't have to zero at 25 yards. I can zero like at 10 yards, and it's still good at, out to 25, 50, whatever, right? So, got this bad boy. I put on a rest, but not like a hard rest. It was like a soft rest, and took my first shots, and I think I was at like 5 or 7 yards, and I just wanted to see where it was at. Boom, 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 and I'm like, holy fuck, I'm a sniper. And I took it out to 10 yards. Bam, bam, bam. Holy fuck. 25, and all the way out 25 yards, and I was like, okay, I'm sold. And what it was it wasn't me per se, but it was the optic. It was the difference between a shitty optic and a good optic. This is a Holosun 407C, whatever. This is not a $500 RMR. This is just a nice Holosun. I think it was like $300 maybe, $250, something like that. And anyways, I overnight became a believer, and I was like, oh my God, this thing's awesome. I was able to zero it super quick. And from then on, man, it was like, 40, 50 yard, ping, 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 no problem, right? So I got one for my Glock 43. The first one I got was a SIG Zero, Romeo Zero, or something like that, the little bitty Romeo. The dot was like this fucking big, and you couldn't adjust it, and I didn't like it. I had it on a dovetail mount, didn't like it. So finally I was like, okay, I paid for a guy to mill it out, and I put a Holosun on there, and then all of a sudden I loved it again. The dot on the Holosun I think this is a 1 MOA, and I think that one's like a 3 or 4 MOA. It's a little bit bigger, but I like it. I like it a lot. So for a year or so, this is all I was shooting, red dots. And then for whatever reason, I picked this bad boy up, right? And I started dry firing it, right? And I noticed that because of the red dot, right, getting it like trying to get a perfect presentation every time, I was noticing that, oh my God, my presentation with this just got way better. And I hadn't picked up iron sights for like a year, but because I was using this got way better. And for about 2 weeks, I had to pick this thing up, and I used to draw it like 100 times a day because I couldn't see the dot. And I'd get the dot, but then it would be in a weird spot. And finally, after 2 weeks of 100 times a day, I was getting it down to where it was in a pretty good position. And then I'd go shoot, and then all of a sudden, the iron sights, I was like, oh my God, my iron sight, my draw for my iron sights, my presentation just got way better. And I'm like, what kind of fucking black magic we got going on? So for 2 weeks, I just played with this, right? Just iron sights. Then I picked this bad boy up one day, and I was like, holy fuck. It's like cheating. It's like playing Contra and going A, B, left, right, up, down, A, B, select start, and getting infinity lives. Or being on Mario and jumping on the little fucking shell and getting infinity lives. It's cheating. And I love it. Like, I could not believe how awesome it is. So if you are out there and you're like, red dots are gay, red dots are dumb, only fucking nerds want to be red dot guys. No, that's not the case. I'm fucking old. I'm in my mid-40s. This thing is amazing. Don't buy a cheap one. That's where people get fucked up. Do not buy a cheap one, right? Holosuns are not super expensive, but they're not cheap either. They're really, really good optics. And if you watch like Aaron Cowan on Sage Dynamics, he does a lot of like drop testing with these. and they're great optics. I'm a believer. I'm 100% a believer. I don't think that you should own a gun without them. Now, I have seen people be like, oh, it's just a fad. It's not. You know, I got issued a red dot in 1997 or beginning of 98, something like that. Was my first red dot. It wasn't a fad. We're still using them today. You know, these have been on pistols since the 90s for competition shooters. And they have just kind of evolved. You know, they used to be the giant motherfuckers. And they just evolved until today, right? They have evolved to a point where you almost don't even need iron sights for your gun. I mean, be truthful, right? Tier 1 guys are not having iron sights on their rifles. And before you know it, we're going to take iron sights off these. It's an amazing thing, especially if you're older, especially if you know, your eyesight's kind of going out a little bit. And I can say all kinds of technical things and sound super smart, but here's the very layman's dumbed down version of this. If that's a bad guy and I'm pulling my gun out to shoot the bad guy, I am going to be hyper focused on bad guy, right? It's the way it is. Because bad guy's trying to kill me, I'm hyper focused on bad guy. I can put this up and all I see is staring at bad guy, I see a red dot and I pull trigger. Okay? I do not have to see bad guy, line up all my fucking things, oh wait, look at my front sight. Oh, look at all sides. Look at bad guy, look at his front sight. And then pull trigger. I don't have to do that. I don't have to just point and shoot. Okay? This makes it, I stare at bad guy, I put red dot on bad guy goes down. Dude, it's a fucking game changer. And I don't know why I took so long to come around to it, but I'm here now and I am gonna put these in. It's like, this is like fucking Frank's Red Hot. I'm gonna put that shit on everything. That's all there is to it. Okay? So hey, if you hate on red dots, if you don't like red dots, I get it, but it's 2023, man, okay? We don't care if gay people get married, and we don't care if you put red dots on your guns, you know what I'm saying? So always ask yourself, are you an asset or a liability? So ask yourself, are you an asset or a liability? Or, that was backwards.